Good evening, viewers. This is BBI Channel 1, and we are on the program Biafra Discourse. I'm Assertion Peters, your host. First of all, let me say sorry to our viewers who might have joined us earlier when we started and we had technical glitches. You know that word coming from INA. That is the most popular word that describes Nigeria's situation. Glitches. Everything is glitches. So we're back again live on the program, Biafra Discourse, and I'm being joined by some Biafran enthusiasts, Biafra agitators, and Adibo-centric Nigerian. Let me put it that way. He's also joined us to deliberate on this matter, that when Nigeria burns, Biafra will be free. That some people believe that actually that Biafra will be free only when Nigeria burns to ashes. And from the ashes of it, the Biafran people will be free. And sometimes myself, I've made this statement in the past. And we are going to review the situation. One, we're going to look at when Nigeria burns, who will be the victim? And how can the Biafrans, with the current situation of Nigeria and the disposition of the southeast particularly and other parts of Biafran land, how would they be able to emerge from the ashes of Nigeria when it burns? And also, we're going to deliberate and find a practicable solution, narrative that can be put into workable plan for whatsoever freedom agitation could be achieved within the context of the Nigerian geographical space. So I'm quickly being joined virtually by some of our analysts. Some are pro-Biafrans, some are Igbo-centric Nigerians. So all of that, we have Spencer Anyanwelu joining us from United Kingdom. Spencer Anyanwelu, you can say hello to us and to our viewers. And we also have Ndubisi Anenugu, who is also joining from Biafran land. Ndubisi, when you come on live, you can also say hello to our people. We also have Nonso joining also from Biafran land. And other people who might join. This is a live interactive section, and this program is meant to bring about discussion, bring it to the table. Let us have one-on-one talk and come up with most reliable opinion that can find lasting solution to the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria. It is only a dead man, even a dead man that had been alive, will attest to the fact that Nigeria is seriously in crisis and perhaps heading to doom with the way things are going. But nevertheless, let us take a look at some of different perspectives that we'll be bringing on the table. If you want to join this conversation, green me on the number 081045455533. You can add +234, international dialing code to access this number if you are outside the Biafran land and particularly Nigeria. All right, it's my pleasure to bring the men in, beginning with Spencer, and then we'll say hello to our viewer, Spencer.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I'm Spencer, and I'm going to have my platform private television, so you guys should check us out as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Spencer. Thank you very much for that. Very quick, super. That is your second tongue, but we would like you to bring it down. Yeah? No, Igbo people are talking to Igbo people, and the Biafrans are also talking to Biafrans. You know, we are going to deliberate on that.
The Biafra language.
Yes, exactly. We have Ndubisi joining us right now on the video. Ndubisi, say hello to our viewers.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, our people all over the world. Greetings. Children, let me stand by.
We go be standing by because today na fire for fire. We have men of timber and caliber that will do justice to the situation that we have today in Nigeria. Okay, that's very good coming from Ndubisi and Enugu. And we have another wonderful Biafran Nonso, who is joining us from the Biafran land. Yeah. So, Nonso, please give us your own opening remark very quickly.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. This you are hearing Edozie Nochukwu Nonso. I'm speaking for the last one. I hope this conversation, our discussion, impacts every one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, students. So thank you very much for joining. And for you who are watching out there, you can join this conversation by calling +234-810-4545533. Let us deliberate on this matter, that if Nigeria goes up in flames, burns down to ashes, then the Biafran people shall be free. We're going to deliberate on that. If Nigeria burns, Biafra will be free. Do you agree with this? Tell us your opinion about this. Let us begin with Spencer and Nyanwelo. You have give us your own remark on this very situation, this very opinion or narrative. Spencer.
Well, I think it's one of those fallacies, just as we've seen the same utopian idea sold about Biafra, which is not tenable because the process to people about it is they're going about it the wrong way. Now, thinking or praying for Nigeria to burn and out of the ashes of a burnt or a chaotic or war-torn Nigeria would emerge a utopian Biafra is one of the biggest fallacies I've ever heard. First of all, when there's war, right, people forget, there is something called the humanitarian crisis. There are people who would have to disperse, who will run away from their enclaves. War is not a joke, people, because we haven't seen war in our generation. That's why we see people praying for war. They don't know what war is all about. If there's war in Nigeria today, there will be a humanitarian crisis. People will run away from their enclaves. And Igbo land will probably be deserted. Telling you now, right? Don't forget that the oil that you're talking about is in the south and southeast. So you think that that's going to be left alone? Those areas will be invaded by soldiers. And when they're invaded, that means people will have to run away because there'll be heavy bombardment, heavy shelling. And Igbo people will naturally, who love life. I don't need Igbo. I like, we don't want to. Igbo, I will warrior. I will warriors by nature. That's the truth. We're obviously going to disperse to countries like Cameroon, and there's going to be a crisis. And then up north, the northern part of Nigeria, they'll probably go into Niger and all of that, and move away to other countries. And it does, and Ghana and all that. And to think that suddenly, after all of it, there's going to be some sort of a negotiation for Biafra to come, it's just a fallacy. All I'm saying, and don't forget that Nigeria, as it stands today, whether you like it or not, will do everything possible to maintain and keep the status quo. Nigeria has allies and people who have interest in Nigeria as it stands. You have people like countries like the United States, individuals and countries and private people. United States, UK, I'm part of the European bloc, Germany and all that. They have interest in Nigeria. Even China these days. Even Russia that we're talking about. Russia is coming in. Countries like that. So you think they're going to see Nigeria burn and suddenly where they're going to get the resources, they're going to let it just become a place where there's going to be more division? No. They're going to want to align with Nigeria as a country to be able to come in. Nigeria is a sovereign nation, right? For me, for you to get Biafra or create a country from the enclave called Nigeria, you need to go about it through the political means. It's not going to happen. In this day and age, in 2023, most countries who are trying it, you can see it's not happening. You see what happened in Spain? The Catalonians have been trying to go about it the wrong way, I'll say, and it's not working for them. Countries who are backing out in the wrong way, it's not working. Now, if you try to go the military route, and that's why Nigeria is putting a foot down with what's going on with the ECOWAS. Nigeria is putting a foot down because we can sense that same plot by those who want to see Nigeria go down. When we're talking about what's going on around us, you see people who are pro-Biafra happy that Nigeria is going to blazes. It's not going to happen. And I heard you say something, Chinedu, about if the judiciary makes the wrong decision. Well, I don't understand that statement, because I don't know what the wrong decision is, and we don't know
Okay,
what the right decision is.
I'm going to buttress that very well, and it seems that you don't really get the context of what we are discussing about, talking about the crisis in Nigeria. If Nigeria bonds, in this context, it's not about Biafra versus Nigeria or at war with each other. No, it's about the enclave, the Nigerian as a country, having so many crises happening left, right, and center, the insecurity issue, the economic crisis, the political uncertainty that is happening, and the much agitation coming from different quarters of Africa, demanding that truly Africans should be free. Just like you just pointed out, a whole lot of Western interest in Nigerian resources, whereas the Nigerian people are suffering in abject poverty. That is exactly what we are here to deliberate upon, and people looking at the possibility of the political instability, just like we had in Niger. You had some people call it coup, but I call it a revolution, because the people, that's exactly what they wanted. They are supporting it. It is popular. Okay, so now, as against what is happening in Nigeria today, I hear people say on the street, we are holding our peace because we are looking up to the judiciary to do the needful, because it is glaring based on their own calculation that this is unconstitutional government, a government that did not meet. I'm saying the opinion of the people. Hang on. I'll let you come in. I'm telling you, this is the opinion of the people out there. Okay, so let us just take it as
everybody.
It's a popular opinion. I'm not saying that it is everybody's opinion. I'm saying it's a popular opinion there that the president in place did not meet the constitutional requirement to be declared the president. So, and it is being challenged in court as we speak. So people are like, let us wait on the court to give us a kind of judgment.
Give us what?
The Nigerian people. I'm talking about the Nigerian people.
What do they want? There are people who no, listen. No, that's what I'm saying to you. You got it wrong. There are people who want to hear that Tinubu won, and there are people who want to hear that Peter won.
We are not disputing. We are not disputing.
So you can't be saying.
Excuse me.
So you can't be saying what the people are saying.
Excuse me, Spencer. I know. I understand you.
The judiciary has to take its course.
Excuse me. I'm not saying the opinion of the judiciary. I am saying the opinion of people out there. I am not, and it's not under dispute. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Some people.
I never said everybody. Yes. I never said everybody.
We use the right words. Some people, please. Don't say people. Some people.
I said people, whether you say some people or people. But the most important thing is that the most important thing, it is a popular opinion out there that the government in place.
By what metrics? By what metrics have
don't interrupt yet. We are not yet. We are just trying to build the base so that the people will understand what we are talking about. Okay, so we are not yet debating. I know where you're coming from, but that is not the debate we are talking about. We're talking about the opinion of the people out there, especially Biafran enthusiasts and pro-obedient Nigerians who are looking up to up to the judiciary to do the right thing, meaning to interpret the law according to the law and not according to technicalities. That is just it. So let them come out.
And the judiciary have to be left alone to do their job.
What the court will come up with
is not decided.
No, it's not us that will decide what the court will come up with. But this is the popular opinion out there. Now, excuse me, so that we don't delay much time on this. Now, we are trying to build the base for you to understand that, first of all, you are moving out of the narrative of it is between Biafra and Nigeria in crisis. No, we are talking about a situation whereby there is a national crisis. There is a national crisis hitting Nigeria from insecurity, political instability or uncertainty, the issue of economy collapsing and people out there suffering. Households cannot meet ends meet and the rest of them. There is double quick match in the level of inflation. The prices of things are going up. People cannot buy food. These are realities in Nigeria, and people are saying, our hope is on the judiciary to make judgment, that after their judgment, they might, some people also say that, wow, they are perhaps trying to push the Nigerian people to go out on the street to cause mayhem and create a situation of anarchy so that it can truncate the process of the court. And so therefore, many of these people are saying, no, do not go on the street, do not demonstrate, do not give yourself in to cause any form of crisis, because they are waiting to catch in on it, just like they did during the NDSAS, to bring about a situation of anarchy and state of emergency and truncate the court process. So all of this narrative is what is on the air out there. But on our discussion today, some people, because I read from a conversation among one of the prominent pro-Biafran group leaders who made this very narrative and posted the article. And after I read it, following the discussion on the article, it dawned on me that a whole lot of Biafran enthusiasts are looking up to the fact that when Nigeria bonds, then there will be greater opportunity for Biafra to be free or emerge out of the ashes. And that is why we are making this debate. This is not a political debate. This is not a debate to show who did this or who did that or who's supposed to be president or not. We're saying if the crisis in Nigeria results to a total breakdown of law and order, some people believe that in that situation, Biafra can be free. And that is the bottom line of what we're talking about today. So that people who wants to join this conversation, you can call +234 810 533. Meanwhile, I have with me Spencer Nenwelu, who is joining me virtually. I also have Ndubisi and Enugu and Nonso. So we take each and every one of them, their own opinion with respect to this very situation. Spencer, you have to hold on. Let me bring in Ndubisi to make his own point. Then we'll come back to you again. Ndubisi and Enugu, if you are there, you can come on and let us get your own opinion on this issue that we're talking about, the enthusiasts of Biafran people believing that Biafra will emerge from the ashes of Nigeria. Ndubisi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. Good evening, Spencer. Well done. I've gotten your opinion, and also we're together. See, Chinedu, personally, the way I see it is that political power is never given. It's never given to any person, and it's never given to the weak. It is taken. It is taken by the stronger side. And the political power in this sense, whether it's having a nation known as Biafra, or having a country, or having, of course, a country. You know, this opinion coming from a Biafran agitator that once there is crisis in Nigeria, you know, that when judiciary does the wrong thing, of course, there will be crisis in Nigeria. And according to him, that crisis will favor the Biafran people because it will give birth to a new nation called Biafra. You know, in my own personal view, that will not happen. Because whatever may be the case, you know, the power brokers in Nigeria or the international community will find a way of resolving that crisis. It's just like in economy, somebody said all things being equal, you know, that we have a equilibrium point. You have a point where demand is equal to supply, or where, of course, equilibrium point, you know, that point is a point utopian. It's never met. You can never have that point. But economists will say if all things being equal, but brothers, sisters, we know that things can never be equal. You know, we are merely deceiving ourselves. And for those of our brothers who are always excited with Biafra news or Biafra brand, or who want to sell one kind of narrative to win supporters, or maybe to start making money, because I know a lot of people are making money overseas. The fact that they will promise Biafra in next 1 month or next 30 days or next 300 days, people will start contributing money and people will start selling their houses overseas, looking forward to see Biafra. I'm telling you, there are some even elderly men. I've seen some veterans of 75 years, getting themselves prepared to come back to the Biafra land. One professor told me in US, a reverend father, a professor, told me that God has told him that Biafra is coming this year. Brother, who am I to say that it's not possible? Who am I to say that if there is crisis in Nigeria, Biafra will not come? I cannot argue that. Biafra might come by default because who knows, there might be crisis that it will get to a point when the power brokers, the Sharia government will stand up and say, we have oil in Castina. We've gotten all the mineral resources. In fact, with the way Tinubu is going, giving all the appointments towards his own end, just like Buhari did under his government, under his 8-year reign, Tinubu is now in charge. And if you look at all his appointment and permutation, is going west. So anything is possible. These guys might wake up. They don't behave like us. They've already gotten their own country. They have their customary government known as Sharia government. They have a parallel system, They can wake up and say, to hell with Nigeria. So it boils down on us being organizing ourselves. So to that extent, Biafra is possible. Nigeria could divide. Nobody. I cannot come here to argue that no, it is not possible. No, the only thing I said is that power is given. Sorry, that power is not given. It is taken. And only the strongest side and the most organized people will take it. And I know in Nigeria today, the northerners, whether you call them Fulani, Hausa Fulani, are most organized to do anything they want in Nigeria. Of course, the West, who are the Yorubas, might also say, yeah, we have built our region, let's have our own country and go. So it's not left for us, Igbos or Biafrans, or whether you say Igbo, Niger Delta, or whatever. It now left they can't force, Igbos cannot force themselves or cannot and do not have what it takes to say there must be Nigeria. Where is their strength? So my argument is that if God, no, I don't always use the word God because I know God omnipotent. He wants best for every one of us. But if it's destined and designed to happen, nobody will sit here to say it is not happen. But my only advice I will give to us, our people, is to keep on organizing ourselves, just like we are doing good governance ministry. We are encouraging all the good men and women across the world to identify good people and good platform. Let's start building, let's start loving ourselves, let's start appreciating ourselves, and let's start building our home to be the heaven on earth. We can do it with or without resources from Abuja. Thank you, Chinedu. This is my submission
I know
so
your
far.
submission is very on point. The Magam straight on point. I really appreciate that, and I believe many people are nodding their heads in agreement with what you're saying. Over to Chinonso. You have the floor open for you to make your own submission. Then we get back to Spencer and Enugu.
Thank you so much, Mazi. I appreciate Mazi Nduvisi for his position. My own little contribution is to agree with Mazi Nduvisi that anything can happen and it will bring about the division of Nigeria. But I also support this topic that it is possible for Biafra from the of Nigeria, like if Nigeria bonds, because economically Nigeria is burning now. Everything is going down by the day in Nigeria right now is very, very high. So it means that the people are not even happy to be identified as Nigerians. Everyone who is happy Nigerian right now is probably from the of the Fed directly. But the common people are very great. It's exhausting. Nobody appears to be in Nigeria now. So Nigeria is turning to what Mazim will call a kind of remedial situation in that before you know it, like everything will start crumbling on its own. The economy will crumble on its own. The trust of our government will crumble. The military will crumble on its own. They will lose trust to the central government, which is overseeing or so everything will degenerate. Natural generate by naturally, and showing that Nigeria is going in this direction because no, he has lost legitimacy. He has lost the stock of the man due to his approaches, policies he is making is actually anti the manner of approach in settling the situation in the Niger Republic. You can see that he's further creating enemies for Nigeria more than making friends for Nigeria. The people of Niger are in support of the military, and then that we call president who became the head of the government of the interim government of Niger that they must reinstall a revolted government, a government that the people has rejected. So how would he achieve that? By taking troops of Nigeria to Niger and start killing military people or civilians. So how does he think that he can actually achieve what he wants to achieve in Niger? So the man is actually making Nigeria more a candidate of remedial succession than a country that has hope of continuing. Nigeria cannot continue like this. Before you know it, like Mazin Dubisi said, the North who are now discovering so many things in their region will say that they are no longer willing to become part of Nigeria, and they will start calling for self-determination to be on their own. The Yorubas are already organized. They have Oduduwa. They can identify themselves as Oduduwa. Nobody will intimidate them. And then for us Biafrans, we are already identifying ourselves as Biafrans. So there is in my own opinion, there is more need for us to start getting ourselves prepared in terms of following due process, going through litigations, and also making friends, international friends that will give us this recognition and then help us when the time comes. Because if Nigeria will degenerate, it must degenerate. The only thing is that we cannot tell when, but it will happen because a lot of things are indication to that fact. So I support this topic that the burning of Nigeria will give rise to all the emerging components of Nigeria to become independent on their own. Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Nonso, for that, your submission. And we're going right there to Spencer and Enugu, I believe is there. But if you're watching and you want to join this conversation, we are talking about if Nigeria burns, Biafra will be free. And we're just talking about Biafra because it is the Biafra discourse. But there are other people in Nigeria, other ethnic nationality in Nigeria who might aspire to have their own self-determination. We have the Oduduwas, you have the Arawas, and the rest of them. Okay, now to My brother Spencer and Enwelo, you have your own opinion with respect to what's happening in Nigeria. We want to get from your own perspective. Do you think that as it is today in Nigeria, there is crisis, serious crisis in Nigeria today? Do you think that Nigeria is not in serious crisis, or they are in serious crisis or as we speak right now? And if there are areas you've identified, you can please highlight on them very quickly and tell us your opinion about them. Spencer. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. Can you hear me now? You can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead. You are coming out clear.
Yeah. It's just as obviously the president said, that Nigerians need to bear with what's happening. When you have an injury, when there's an injury and you require surgery, it's not gonna be pleasant. It's gonna be painful. And we know what's happening in Nigeria. There's the subsidy issue that even all of our candidates who aspired for that position said they were going to remove. So we're still going to come to this, despite whoever won, right? That's one. And then on the economic, in terms of the currency issue, in terms of the Naira being falling and all that, which they've managed to put some measures in to forestall it, it's just normal. The Naira has been artificially propped up over the years. And we're seeing a situation where we're saying to ourselves, let's try and put in measures to see how we can be able to have the Naira. I want to be able to exchange Naira in London if I can. Not going through the black market all the time. These are things that they're trying to do. These are things good for Nigeria. It's going to take time. And of course, it's going to be a bit painful and harsh on the people. And that's why the government is coming out with some palliatives, which they're willing to, hopefully, going to put out, as soon as their ministers are appointed. And we've seen the ministers being appointed from various states and being given their portfolios. And once that's in place, we'll now start seeing some of those palliatives being rolled out by the ministers, and Nigerians will now have a reprieve. Let me tell you, there's no point wishing evil on Nigeria because you hate the entity and you're wishing that, oh, let it go to ashes, or because you lost an election, yeah, or your preferred candidate didn't win, and suddenly you're wishing or hoping for or praying for Nigeria to go to multiple places. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying to you. It's never going to happen. Now, on the international front, ECOWAS is a body, not just Nigeria. ECOWAS is not Tinubu. ECOWAS is an entity made up of 15 nations, of which Tinubu happened to be the chairman. And what he is doing and the stance he's taking is one that needs to be taken. You have 7 countries above Nigeria, all that have been taken over by a military regime. And Tinubu, historically, was a person who fought with Nadeko against the military regime in Nigeria. These are people, this is his stance. He has an ideology. He doesn't believe in military regime. And I believe none of us believe in military regime, except you want Nigeria to go to blazes. Now, it would be stupid or unwise for Nigeria to keep quiet. The biggest nation, Nigeria, whether you like it or not, is the richest nation in Africa. Today, economically, Nigeria is the richest country in Africa, right? We have the largest population and everything. It would be stupid for us to keep quiet and let see military regime encroaching and coming towards us. And once Nigeria was hit, that was when they now said, no, action has to be taken. So some of the permutations and the political words or jibes that were done were necessary. It doesn't mean that they want to go to war. Of course, Tinubu doesn't want to go to war. ECOWAS doesn't want to go to war. But we saw that happen when it happened in Gambia, when the president, democratically elected president, he lost an election and he wanted to stay on. Under Buhari, we decided that ECOWAS said, no way, you have to leave. You lost an election, you must leave. And what happened? ECOWAS gave the same stance. We took the same position that we're taking now. And what did we see? We saw him eventually leave when jet fighters were sent across over his palace. Now, what we're saying to Mali and Burkina Faso and all those countries, we don't want to have military regime. Nigeria is where we are today because of military regime. Some people who, especially people probably in their late 20s, and they never went through it. They were young then. I'm nearly 50 now. I'm in my late 40s. And I went through as a young man under military regime. And we knew what Nigeria was. We wouldn't be able to speak like this under military regime. That's the truth. Because first of all, Biafra channel will be shut down. YouTube would not be existing. Right? And that's what people don't understand. Your freedom, no human rights. Under Fela said it. I want my human rights. No human rights under military regime. These things are being taken for granted. But that's what I'm saying. Don't wish on other countries what you don't wish for yourself. So please, let's understand what's going on. Are things tough at the moment? Yes. So it is everywhere in the world. I'm in the UK. Right? The fallout of COVID has made it worse. The war in Ukraine has made it tough. Now, even in the UK, petrol, as I was driving through today, was £1.57 or £1.56. You can do the maths and find out how much that is in Nigeria. £1.56 per litre. That's how much it is in London. Fuel prices have gone up. Electric prices, everything. It's not just in Nigeria. The whole world is in pains. So let Nigerians not try and say it's to do with it. No. Some policies are being put in place to make Nigerians a lot better in the long run. When you're playing the long game, in the short term, there might be issues. So all I'm saying is, let's not be hard on the president. Let's give him time. He's only been in there from when? May, June, July, August. 3 months. And when I say Nigeria has gone to ashes, that's not true. So all I'm saying to you is, this fallacy of those who want Nigeria dead, coming out with saying that Nigeria is going to burn under 3 months is a bloody lie. Okay. Nigeria is a nation. Right. Nigeria has allies. And Nigeria is looking even good at the moment.
I think you've answered that very question to your best of your knowledge and your opinion regarding the crisis in Nigeria. To you, there is nothing happening in Nigeria that is peculiar to Nigeria. It's happening everywhere. And as a result of that, everybody should just cool down. Things is going to get better. I believe you that things will get better, but in Nigeria, it had not gotten better. And anywhere around the world, things have not really gotten better. I can agree with you on that. But Nigerian case and African case as it is today, which is man-made. The problem of Africa, we all know that the problem of Africa is man-made. Bad governance. There is no justification to what is happening in Africa and the interests of the West having a grip on Africa while we suffocate. And people who runs the government in Africa had continued to portray themselves as stooges, as puppets of these foreign nations. And that is why people are giving their backing on the military juntas. Come to think of it, what is democracy? Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now tell me what is happening in a situation whereby you have a country where your democracy is not by the people and it's not for the people. And someone will say, oh, democracy. Someone will preach you democracy. Just like when Spencer talked about Fela, he also sang, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. When you're talking about democracy, you give us the kind of democracy that is practicable in all ramifications. Okay? And I had someone come in, Udowele just joined in from South Africa. Our brother, comrade Mazi Udowele. You're welcome to the program. You can use this opportunity to make your enroll and make your first statement on the program because time has been far spent. You can unmute yourself. Let's talk on this issue. Udowele, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good evening, listeners. I joined very late because I was so busy. And right now I'm still driving. Not yet, but I can't wait to participate in this program because it's been a worthwhile and we have to fill in the gap. I have not listened to the topic, but I heard from the last person who was talking, speaking about the situation of Nigeria and our involvement here and there, military and so forth. I must be sincere with you. Everyone is entitled to his or her opinion, but he cannot take the truth away from it that Nigeria is not really practicing democracy. can't count ourselves among those who are practicing democracy. That is why people will prefer a military regime that they know than for you to pretend that this guy is under democracy and still practice military system of government. That is it on that one account. Concerning getting involved in Niger Republic, we all know it's not about being sentimental or someone lose an election. We all know that the election that brought in the current administration in Nigeria is not just fraudulent, but flawed election. So somebody legitimate to fight another illegitimate. I don't think two wrongs can make a right. So we can't actually talk about getting involvement in the Republic when somebody who wants to get involved does not even enjoy the mandate of the people. So, like I said, everyone is entitled to his or her opinion.
Exactly.
But to my opinion and what I think is the right thing to do is for him to first of all fix the Nigerian problem, because we have an enormous problem in Nigeria. Despite his illegitimacy, his policies has not helped in any way. Ngige was once a governor of Anambra State, illegitimately governor of Anambra State, but his policies and his economic policies painted illegitimate government to look as if it's legitimate. So, if the Tinubu, for instance, now can be able to turn things around and make Nigerians happy and smiling, the outcry of his illegitimacy might even decline and limited to the court process. But now, it won't be limited to only court process, because illegitimate government has also transcended to illegitimate policies. And it's biting everyone, not just me, not just everyone is feeling the bite. That's what I can say for now. Let me hold on and have a more clear of what the discussion is about.
I want you to continue in this conversation, and in your own opinion, with respect to the topic we are reviewing, that if Nigeria bonds, Biafra will be free. Do you agree with that assertion?
I can hardly hear the last few seconds of your statement.
Okay, I said that from the topic we are handling today, if Nigeria bonds, Biafra will be free. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that narrative?
Not only Biafra will be free, so many nations will emerge out of Nigeria, just like what happened in former Soviet Union. It will be an easy escaping route for everyone who has been aggrieved over the years about the forceful union that has happened in Nigeria, and so as in other African countries. Because, for instance, if we look at it today, North and South have nothing in common in Nigeria. But do you know that Niger Republic, where Nigeria wants to get involved in the war again, has common relationship with the northern Nigeria? But these people were separated from Nigeria and put in Niger. And then they bring those of us in the south who have nothing in common with the north and bring us together. So I think basically this will be an opportunity for those of them in the north to align with those their brothers and their cousins in Niger, and for those of us in the south who don't feel comfortable with the forceful union to find our way. Not only Biafra will go, if other nations wish to form alliance, it will be after those separation. But to be frank with you, a lot of people will be happy to leave that union. It's unworkable. There's nothing good about it.
All right. In as much as I will agree with you, to be honest with you, I'm being a little bit reserved with that situation of if Nigeria bonds, because when Nigeria bonds, everything with it goes down with it. including our people. And come to think of it, who will be the biggest victim of Nigeria when it burns? The Biafrans. The Biafrans that are widespread across Nigeria, the Biafrans that are well established across Nigeria, the Biafrans, despite their suppression, had invested a huge part of their livelihood and existence in other parts of Nigeria outside their homeland. If Nigeria burns, in the north, Biafrans will be victims. In the west, Biafrans will be victims. In the south, the same is applicable. And in the east, obviously. So now, when you say Nigeria burns and Biafra will be free, I think we're having some noise coming in. You can put your phone on the mute. So what we're saying right now is that it is far better for us to go through a process, well-defined process. Despite the turbulent waters of Nigeria, what best we could do is to organize ourselves. What best we could do is to start putting institutions in place, just like Ndubisi highlighted earlier. We need to organize ourselves. Even as we have Nigeria today, other parts of Nigeria had gone far ahead of us. The Biafrans, go to the west, you see them assembling trains, setting up underground train system, transportation network, mega businesses, industries, and the rest of them, building mega model cities for themselves. In the north, the same is happening. If you get to some of the states in the north, you have to believe you are still in Nigeria. Yet, we are all within the same loop of bad situation in Nigeria. The north has a well-organized system. Their customary government is intact under the Sharia law, under the Sharia code. They have their banking system already. They have a well-defined economic system. And they are ultimately running a parallel system. If anything happens to Nigeria, they will just kick it off and continue moving ahead as nothing happened. So if Nigeria burns, in my own opinion, the Biafrans will be the biggest victim. But that should not be a reason why Biafrans should not aspire to have their self-determination, because it is their right, you can't take away from them. And also established by the UN Charter for the indigenous people across the world to have self-determination. And what is self-determination? Being able to have control of their life, their culture, their language, and even self-governance. So, when we talk about Nigeria in context, many people out of sentiment and emotion may say, let Nigeria burn so that Biafra will be free. In my opinion, Nigeria in crisis should put us all together to start fixing our homeland and heed to the call through good governance, as we are advocating, that we kickstart in the southeast, getting our institutions to work. Sorry, we have someone that is interrupting the process. Udo, will mute yourself, please.
All right.
Put yourself on the mute, please. Thank you very much. So, we need to start putting our house in order. We need to start fixing our homeland. The enclave you call Biafra, the governance is in shambles. The political leaders are not truthful to themselves, neither are they truthful to their people. They serve the interests of their political allies as against the interests of their own people. The schools are not working, the social system have collapsed, and we are becoming men so confused, like headless chickens running about town. We need leadership. We need focus. We need a defined agenda to fix our homeland. That cannot happen without having good people in government. And it's about time the Biafran enthusiasts, the Biafran agitators who have shied away from participating in the governance of their homeland should think twice, should channel the energy towards good governance in our homeland and ensuring that institutions are in place so that should Nigeria collapse with the current crisis, economic crisis, insecurity, uncertainty, political uncertainty, and all manner of crises rocking it left, right, and center. If peradventure anything happens, that just like others, we also as Biafrans will have a home we call our own. And not unnecessarily putting ordinary people, putting Nigerian people across board into the traumatic situation of anarchy and war situation. That is my position, and I'll give our brothers their time to make their closing remark on this situation. And for those of you who have joined us, we appreciate you and hope that you are enjoying the program. And in case you want to join the conversation and make your submission, feel free to call before the end of this program, which will be happening in the next 10 minutes. +234 810 4545 533. I repeat, +234 810 4545 533. Now, to Ndubisi, give us your own closing remark with respect to what we've talked about all along. Ndubisi, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Thank you, Chinedu.
Your camera is off.
All right. Sorry, please. Can another person speak so that I'll get back? I thought my.
You are having technical glitches.
Yes.
That's what I was using it. That is the most popular word in Nigeria today. Okay, Nonso, yeah. I think we have to get to you, Nonso. Give us your own closing remark very quickly, based on what we have talked about today. Okay. Give us your own remark in summary.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mazi. I want to appreciate bringing us into your platform, discuss on this. So, I beg to differ in an opinion that you made that other regions are ahead of us. Even though like it is true, but it is not actually true, because if you recount where we came from after the war, you will notice that the pace with which Igbo land is developing is far greater than what of the north and in the west stands. We were given 20 pounds as a way of frustrating our economic growth. But look at our need today. There is no sign of war in our land today. If there's a war, it's logical, but in terms of economic growth, we are almost equal with other regions. So this is one of the world we're from, because we undermine past, our regrettable past, focus on solution. So today, the different people are looking how to it better. They will go and advance what they have. But the environment the federal government is providing is not. That's what our self-determination to get our people at the center of that federal government is very, very important. When we get there, we set the stage very well, so that the environment will be very palatable for our people to do what they want to do and give people life. We still have factories and industries in Igbo land. The number of industries we have in Igbo land, you can equal it with what we have in the north and in the west altogether. If you look at how our people have actually recovered from the that war, you see that we are far of that. So what we look for Nigeria is a level ground where our people will be allowed to bring up the have. Take for instance, Innocent, he has been doing this coupling of motor for a long time, and government has not done him. Our governors in the southeast are trying their best to see if they will give the man the support. But how has government of Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria, supported him? Also, we have this airline owned by an Igbo man, and the man is also using his airline to promote Nigeria at the international stage. How has the government of Nigeria supported him? So it is not true that other people are more organized or not. It's just by comments that we are seeing things happen with the when you talk about the Igbo people in Nigeria. But if you have a level playing ground, we will be far ahead of these other issues. So this is why we are campaigning for our self-determination inside Nigeria, and if it cannot be given, we will go for external self-determination, which is to break away from Nigeria entirely. And it is very possible. So it's just like Mazin Dubisi said, we trying to set some things, and I believe that we have the people, just that maybe one or two reasons we have not been able to do what we have to do. But I believe that with time, everything will be fine, and we will get there. This is my submission today. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, my brother. And also, I think I agree with you when you said you talked about Igbo people coming from nowhere to somewhere as we have it today. But I'm talking about in the context of governance, corporate governance, not in the individual effort that our people had put into. All right, that is where we're coming from. That is where my opinion actually is coming from as a government, organized government, a corporate governance. Putting ourselves together, we are far behind. That is where I am highlighting, not talking about individual efforts which had failed to harness the full potential of our people to maximize our development. Thank you very much, Nonso, for that, your opinion. Let's get over to Mazi Udowele. Then we'll conclude with Ndubisi. I don't know if he is ready for us, but let's take Udowele, then give us your own closing remark as we're wrapping up on today's program.
Well, thank you once again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Most
Go
of
ahead.
just said thank you. I also have made a very brilliant clarification there because I got a Jimbo where a lot. Despite the fact that IPOB and those who feel that they can sponsor violence in our land, this peace is scattering everywhere. It will not be the reason for us to say that if Nigeria divides today, we will start suffering. I think
I think we are losing your voice completely. We are losing your voice completely. You might check your speaking your audio device. That's your microphone, your headphone. Maybe
okay.
It's having some glitches.
Is it better now?
Go on.
All right. Glitches everywhere. We can't send that. So, like I was saying, we are in a high moral ground. Whatever comes out, we take it. It doesn't matter how it comes. Anything that will separate us from Nigeria will be better than any other thing. And those who are deceiving people with Nigeria, there will be no room for that deception anymore. You understand? It will be like day and night. Before we are in the night, now we are in the day. That's what will happen. Some will businesses will close because those of them who open businesses of freedom fighting, they will close their shops. There will be no more freedom fighting. Now the freedom is there. What options do you have? You understand? And it will be only us. It's no longer this and that or that or the other. It will be only us. So there will be no foreign incursion on the whole matter anymore. So that is the situation. So if Nigeria scattered today, I will be very happy. I must be honest with you. I will be very happy. Since we fall into place, it's a matter of a few months or few years. Recover and we are good to go. That's my humble submission. I've not been finding it easy tonight, but by God's grace, Biafrans, we know what we want. It's only miscommunication and misconception that is killing our people. That is the Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. Udowele, for that, your submission. I think Ndubisi have just joined us. Ndubisi, can you quickly make your own quick submission as we're wrapping up on today's program? Tell us your opinion on everything that we've talked about today in summary.
Yeah, Chinedu, thank you. Thank you for the platform and the voice you are giving to your people, to air their views. To me personally, if you ask me whether I will want Nigeria to disintegrate into several nations, my simple response to that will be yes. Yes. Nigeria is too big to be one. It's not like Nigeria is bigger than India, bigger than China, or bigger than America. No. It's because we are black people. Nigeria is largest concentration of black men, where black men live in a one country called Nigeria. As far as Africa is concerned, Nigeria has the highest population of black people in one place. Yes, I want Nigeria to disintegrate because we don't belong together. Let nobody deceive us. Let nobody make any pretense about it. We are all deceiving ourselves for being in one country. Marriage is not by force. There's always an exit route. If you are not comfortable with the marriage, you just separate. It's only the elites that are keeping Nigeria as one. Now, you have so many big men in Nigeria, so many consumers in public space, contributing nothing. This set of people are most unproductive. They are not thinking, they are not creative. See them in Abuja today. I'm sorry Spencer is no longer here, supporting APC. See all the big governors, all the governors reappointed as ministers. Can anybody beat his chest to tell me that what we had last February 25th was an election where we can use the military guys and police to beat up people, where ballot papers were stolen? Anybody endorsing that election is let me not use the word criminal, but such person is not being honest to himself. That was not an election where about 18,000 ballot or result sheets were blurred and uploaded in INET system. Why were all those results blurred? If these guys were honest, why are we deceiving ourselves in this country? So if Nigeria is to be won, why not hold the election? Just hold the election, anybody wins and he goes. Now God has packaged Nigeria to go separate ways. Just look at it. If anything goes wrong with Nigeria, P2B is from the former Eastern Nigeria. P2B will just go. He is the person the world recognized as the political face of the former Eastern Nigeria. Peter Obi will just be the leader of the former Eastern Nigeria, and it goes like that. Tinubu is the face of the West. The West. He will just go like that. Atiku and this man Kwankwaso,
Kwankwaso.
yeah, are the face of the North. They will
Uh-huh.
just go like that. So God has packaged Nigeria, but what I'm saying is that power is not given. Nobody will just come together and say, oh yeah, take. Something will happen for this kind thing to happen, and it's divine. I've always said, Chinedu, that P2B is on divine project. It goes beyond human efforts. Because I don't so much believe in miracle, though I believe in the existence of God, my dear brothers and sisters. I believe that God can intervene using anybody, any means, any process. But I've just given you how it will happen. Peter will be in the east, Tinubu will be in the west, and Atiku Kwankwaso being the north. However, for listeners and our followers, however, I want to put it for record purpose. For record purpose, I want to put it for record purpose that Nigeria, as far as it's concerned, the present system we have in Nigeria is not sustainable and can never be sustainable. If you like, have first class economy is 100. People like Solud, all of them will be confused. They can't manage Nigeria. All the palliatives, Tinubu is sending 5 billion, sending 100 bags of rice. It will not go any place to compare with millions of Nigerians who are angry and hungry. How can you have a system like this where everything is coming from the center? And yes, nobody is talking about it. Nobody is talking about to have a system that will guarantee equity, fairness, and justice. It's only Nigeria that is practicing this kind of federal system of government, military imposed federal system of government. It is never done any place of the world. Maybe somebody should call to remind me of such country. Talk about Brazil, talk about India, talk about Switzerland here, talk about UK, United Kingdom, that has Scotland, Wales, and the Ireland and the England. Talk about Arab, United Arab. You have so many other nations there. You control your resources and pay tax to the center. Yet, Tinubu is so bold to be collecting everything in the center. Instead of doing the first thing first, sit down and restructure Nigeria. Divide Nigeria into regions and into states and empower them. And nobody is talking. Even our governor, Professor Soludo, that has been talking about writing all sorts of books. Now he has become governor and is enjoying the kind of system we have now. None of them is talking. ABGA constitution has it through federalism. Why are they not blowing that for common people to know? They are not blowing it, but that should be the subject for discussion. It shouldn't be on palliative how to pay people 5 billion naira in the short term and the medium term. What budget? What kind of budget is anybody writing under this constitution? So Chinedu, please, this is my closing remark for our people to know that as long as we have this kind of system, Nigeria is destined to go to scatter. Forget about Niger war, or forget about any other thing going any place. Nigeria is destined to scatter because all these our leaders, their head is blocked. They don't listen. They don't hear anything until it happens. Thank you, Chinedu, and thank you, my dear people.
Thank you very much, Indubisi and Enugu, for that your submission. I thank every one of you who have joined Udowele. I really appreciate you. And Indubisi and Enugu, we really appreciate you too. And also we appreciate you as well. And our viewers and listeners across the board, we really appreciate you. And that is where I'll be wrapping it up on today's program, Biafra Discourse. Please join me on the subsequent programs and ensure you follow us on all our social media platforms and continue joining in all our activities. We will continue bringing you expositions that are purely based on truth. Truth and nothing but the truth, because that is the truth that will set us free as a people. I am Asu Chinedu Peters, and on this note, I'm saying, may God bless you. Stay safe at all times. That is very important to me. Stay safe at all times and keep the faith alive. Bye-bye.